One cool evening, Toby was resting in the sheds. He had had a busy day, assisting Mavis at the quarry with a large order of stone for the mainland.
I don't mind helping Mavis, but I need it down here on the branch too. I can't expect Percy or Rosie to do my work, as well as their own.
Ah well, you won't need to worry about the run-up to the quarry tomorrow. The Fat Controller has designated us with a rather important task.
Really? What is it?
The only thing he said is that we were to collect him and another gentleman from Knapford Station first thing tomorrow morning.
Early the next morning, Toby arrived at Knapford. As he drew into the platform, he could see the Fat Controller talking to an unfamiliar gentleman in an overcoat and bowler hat.
Ah, good morning, Toby. Right on time.
Beg pardon, sir, but where am I to be taking you this morning?
You shall be taking us to inspect the old Sodor Gold coal mine at the far end of Doc's branch line.
But why, sir? That mine has been closed for...
Toby looked back to see the two men had already climbed into Henrietta. As he puffed along the Little Western, Toby admired the sights and sounds of the Arsborough coastline.
Oh, how I envy Doc and Oliver. They got such a wonderful branch line.
But Toby's relaxed mood changed when they reached the old mine. Long ago, the mine had serviced the old Mid-Sodor Railway. Even though most of the track was still in place, everything was very rustic and overgrown. The Fat Controller and the gentleman stepped down from Henrietta and ventured off to a far corner of the mine site.
I don't like this place. It's very unsettling. I hope the Fat Controller doesn't take too long.
And indeed, the two men shortly returned.
I shall make arrangements as soon as I return to my office at Knapford.
Come on, let's get out of here. I can't put my buffer on it, but there's something creepy about that mine. The entire time I was there, I felt like something or someone was watching me. It was almost like it was haunted.
Ha! Poor old engine. I never thought I'd see the day where such a level-headed engine like you would believe in a ghost. But then again, I wouldn't doubt your senses, Toby. It is common knowledge that the old mine is indeed haunted by an engine who once worked there.
I seem to recall some years ago an engine who was so afraid of ghosts he fled in fright and hid in the goods shed until the morning.
Oh, shut up, Percy, that isn't relevant.
As the week went on, Toby would deliver the men to the mine in the morning and collect them in the evening. The old cram engine tried not to think about it, but he couldn't shake the bad feeling in his boiler.
Surely this job will be completed soon. Why did the Fat Controller have to send me? Couldn't he have sent Duck or Oliver instead? Ah! Thomas! What are you doing here?
I didn't mean to startle you, Toby. I've brought up some materials for the workmen.
Well, don't do that next time, Thomas! You nearly scared the cowcatchers off me! Oh, heavens to Audrey!
One evening, when Toby arrived at the mine to collect the workmen, the foreman spoke to his driver.
The foreman has asked us to stay late tonight, Toby.
Why?
The workmen have a task that needs to be completed before morning, so they'll have to work into the night. I'm sorry, old chap.
Be careful of the ghost, Toby.
There's no such thing as ghosts. 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 It's the ghost!
What ghost?
The ghost engine who worked here long ago. They aren't happy with our presence here. We should go back home.
Don't be so daft, Toby. We'll go and investigate. I'm sure there is nothing to be scared of.
Take care. Be on your guard.
Toby, there's something we think you should see.
Wouldn't it be better if we waited till morning?
I'm sorry, old chap, but ghosts don't work day shifts.
Toby took a deep breath and made his way to an old workshop.
Do we have to go in?
Yes, we do. Now, come on.
Bless my bell.
There in front of him was a small tank engine, sound asleep and snoring quite loudly.
This is your ghost, Toby. Her name is Lady. She's been sheltered in this old workshop since the mine's closure in the 40s. Over the last few days, we've been preparing her to be transported by lorry to the works to be restored.
The next morning, Toby returned to the workshop to pull Lady out onto the open line. Thomas had brought up the Fat Controller and the mysterious gentleman.
Excuse me, sir, but who's the gentleman that accompanied you here?
Why, didn't I tell you? This is Mr. Burnett Stone. His father was an employee of Sodor Gold Co. until its closure in the 1940s. My father was Lady's driver here at the mine. He had a real bond with his engine and would speak of her as if she was part of the family. And when the mine closed, my father feared that Lady would be sold for scrap, so he took it upon himself to place her in this workshop and lovingly maintained her until he passed away. Unfortunately, the family had forgotten about his engine until recently.
It wasn't funny rusting anyway.
As I was saying, my sister and I felt it wasn't right to keep my father's engine locked up in this shed, so I contacted Sir Topham Hatt, who has gladly agreed to have Lady completely restored and put back into working order. And what's more, Mr. Stone has agreed to hand Lady over to us so she can have a proper working life. Upon her restoration, she'll officially be part of the Northwestern Fleet. And after spending much of her previous life in a mine and being cooped up in this workshop, Lady will have a lot to learn. So I trust that you and the others will take her under your buffer and show her the ropes.
Yes, sir. Of course.
Lady was soon loaded onto a lorry to be transported to the works for her restoration. Indeed, once she re-entered service, wherever she went, life would be far from dull. But that's another story.